Welcome everybody to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's live stream we're going to be talking about mainly about altcoins, okay? Your favorite cryptocurrencies. Let's see, this, let me just double check here, make sure. Alright. Yep. Alright, so yeah, we're going to be talking about your favorite altcoins, cryptocurrencies, some of my favorite altcoins. And I'll be taking requests. We'll be looking at the charts here to see where these cryptocurrencies might be going next as far as prices go. And yeah, let's go ahead and get this show started here. Alright, so we're going to start with one of the biggest altcoins out there by market cap, and that's Ethereum. Currently trading at $2,547 right now. Ethereum, right? Is contending up against this 200-day moving average, this red line. Let me go ahead and get rid of this one here for now. But the 200-day moving average, this red line, is acting as resistance at $2,700 roughly. What I do like about Ethereum is that the daily time frame, the stochastics are very low, which means that Ethereum is probably ready to make a move up to the upside again any moment now here. We kind of got a little bit of a relief earlier. Well, we got a little bit of relief last night with Ethereum popping up in price after Donald Trump said that he plans on working with the EU, and he's not gonna slap on tariffs on June 1st. He's gonna delay it till July 9th. So that helped out the markets, the cryptocurrency markets yesterday. And Ethereum was able to benefit from that. We saw Ethereum actually get as high as about $2,600 here last night, and now we kind of cooled down a little bit here on Ethereum. But yeah, if you know, I see some support here coming from the 100-day moving average, sitting at this blue line here at 24.34, and we also have the 21 EMA coming into the rescue here. This is probably, as soon as the 21 EMA meets where the price is at, it's probably going to launch the price of Ethereum up to higher prices. That's just something that I've noticed after trading for a while and looking at the charts. When the 21 EMA comes up to price, especially on a high time frame like the daily time frame, it usually causes the price to want to go up as well. So I think Ethereum is probably done consolidating here, and we're probably going to see higher prices. And if we do see higher prices, we do have the 1618 saying that we could see a $3,300 Ethereum in the future here. Okay. I'll give a quick bearish note here. If Ethereum actually continues consolidating and going down to the downside, we might come down to the 0.618 at $2,300, 2376, or maybe even the 0.5 retracement at 2258. But with Bitcoin near all-time highs, I doubt that we'll see a deeper retracement going down to low 2000s. I thought that was a possibility like a few days ago, but with Bitcoin showing strength and the you know, and Donald Trump, you know, being easy on the tariffs here, I can see that we're probably going to be going up rather than going down here. And I don't think Ethereum is going to be going down to $2,000 anytime soon here. Okay. But I could be wrong. Not financial advice. This is just my opinion. Okay. Let's get into some other altcoins out there. Let's take a look at we'll take a look at Solana, and I think we'll look at Sui after that. Solana currently trading at $175.89 right now. What is Solana doing here? Solana is also contending up against a 200-day moving average. It's almost similar to like what Ethereum is going up against. Ethereum has a 200-day moving average right above its head, and so does Solana. Once Solana gets past $181, I think that's going to send the price of Solana to higher prices here. We do have a Fibonacci analysis that I measured from like $104 up to $185, where we topped out around that level on Friday, May 23rd. And the 1618 is saying that we should see a Solana price of about $234. That's my long-term target here on Solana. But we also have a 2618 that says that Solana could get up to $315. That's an even longer term target here. But first we have to get past that 200-day moving average. And I think I see trade intuition in the chat here You had to cut your stream short. You didn't know you were going live. Only had a few viewers, but would have sent to you. Just didn't know. Yeah, Happy Memorial Day to you, Trade Intuition. Happy Memorial Day to my viewers as well. I know that on the holiday, especially on the Memorial Day, or any holiday for that matter, I'm very appreciative of the streamers, of the viewers that come in to the stream here, because I know you guys have your holiday plans, you have your cookouts and barbecues to go to. So I appreciate the fact that you guys actually made it onto the live stream here. And of course, if you have a request here, I'll take your requests. I see that we have William asking about Caspa, so we'll probably look at Caspa after Solana here. I do have my own coins I want to get into as well. Make sure I hit them as well, but we'll look at Caspa. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough to actually get people to show up to these live streams. I see that I have a few likes here on my YouTube live stream here. I appreciate you guys hitting the like button as well, because when you hit the like button, it also causes the algorithm to find other people that are interested in crypto, and we can get more people into the live stream here. So I truly appreciate you guys hitting that like button for me. All right. Okay. So yeah, with Solana, going back to Solana, I gave you the upside targets. Solana is also probably going to get some support if it does come down near the 100-day moving average at $167. But most likely, if it does come down, there's a lot of support at this $144 area where we have sideways trading action back in late April. And then we also have the 0.5 retracement is showing that there should be some support at that level as well. But, like I said, with Bitcoin being bullish here, I highly doubt that we'll probably see 144 bucks again, because I think we're about ready to go for another leg up here on the bull run in crypto. So let's go ahead and look at Caspa from my buddy there. Let's see, Caspa USD. Did I write that? Did I type that in right? We'll look at CAS. We'll look at CAS on yeah, it's a KAS, yeah, USDT. All right, so we'll just look at this on I think I want to look at it on Mexi Exchange. Yeah, we'll look at Mexi Exchange. So we got Caspa currently trading at 10 cents. Down 2% today. That's unfortunate, because I think a lot of these cryptos are doing pretty well. I'm not sure why Caspa's having a down day, but this could just be a buy the opportunity for Caspa, right? I think I see one of the reasons why Caspa is going down right now is because there is a little bit of bearish divergence that's starting to show up with these lower highs on the RSI, but we had higher highs on the price here. Okay, so that bearish divergence is playing out right now. Okay, even if I just draw that out a little bit like that, yeah. So we had a little bit of fluke here where we did make a little bit of a high here, but this high on the RSI at 73, is it just barely higher than the high back here? So it's actually more like the divergence is showing like that. But yeah, with bearish divergence, you're gonna see the price just at best go sideways and at worst go down. So that's probably what you're contending up against here with Caspa, which probably means you're just looking for buying opportunities here with Caspa. I like the fact that the stochastics are so low, so maybe Caspa might start catching some bids once people are comfortable buying this this crypto. But let's just zoom out here a little bit. I'll do a quick Fibonacci retracement, measuring from the top here down to the bottom where we saw Caspa at like roughly 6 cents. And if Caspa continues this downtrend and goes to lower prices here, then I think the 100-day moving average sitting at like roughly 0.097 cents is in confluence with the 0.5 retracement level at 0.096 cents. So maybe Caspa needs to come down a little bit more, about 1 more penny, before we start catching some bids on this. And that would also still be a higher low on the price for Caspa. But I doubt that Caspa will go any lower than this 0.096 penny area if Bitcoin is going up to new all-time highs. Okay. And if Bitcoin goes up to new all-time highs, then we do have a 1618 that says that Casper could get up to about roughly 17.5 cents here, probably in the near future. And it looks like that 17.5 level area would be at the same level back in December here, when we saw Casper roughly at like 18, almost 19 cents here. I see Dave P is in the live stream. Hey Dave, how you doing? We're talking about altcoins today, because I feel like there's a lot of opportunities out there, and we want to see if we can get into some altcoins that are about to catch some bids here. And I think Casper is looking like it's one of those altcoins that is coiling up and getting ready to make another leg up. But there's also a lot of altcoins out there that are in that position, and we're going to take a look at them as well. Let's take a look at the SUI, because I feel like SUI is also going to be coiling up here and getting ready to launch on us. It's one of the stronger cryptocurrencies with a lot of developers and great amount of investors that are enthusiastic about investing in it. And I think SUI is a coin that you want to be in. It's supposed to be a competitor to Solana. It's supposed to be a little bit faster than Solana and a little bit cheaper to use. And they're creating decentralized exchanges and stuff like that. They did have one of their exchanges get hacked, so that's the only blemish that they have so far this year. But that has nothing to do with the actual SUI ecosystem itself. That's just an exchange that had some bad security and they got hacked. Okay. But anyways, talking about more about SUI here, I have measured using the Fibonacci analysis here on SUI that SUI got up as high as $4.27, and we had, you know, the initial impulse move here from like $2.14, and I still have the high target for SUI at $5.59. That's the 1618 Fibonacci extension level. So that should be a long-term price target on SUI. I think we might see that in the next leg up here. Just measuring the next leg up, you know, if you want to consider this like almost a bull flag here. I mean, it is kind of slanting up here, but one way to just use trend analysis, you just figure how high this thing got up to over the past few days here. You just take that measured move and you put it to like where we could possibly break out here at like $3.50 on SUI. And the measured move is saying that if we continue the trend, you should see a $5.75 SUI. Excuse me. Which is confluent with the 1618. So it is possible just using trend analysis here. We could just continue the trend. We had our sideways consolidation. I think SUI is getting ready to make this explosive move up. Okay, if you look at the daily stochastics here, daily stochastics are very low on the daily time frame here. You got the 200-day moving average, that red line, acting as possible support. Okay, I would become worried with SUI if we lose that 200-day moving average, which is sitting at $3.44. If we lose the $3.44 level here, then we might come down to some of the sideways trading action here at like $3.20 is what I'm aiming for here on the downside for SUI. And also you have the 100-day moving average, which could act as support. But even further down, if we go a little bit further, the last line of defense here for SUI, and for it to still be bullish, is this 0.236 retracement at $2.64, which is just below the 50-day moving average, sitting at $2.88. So maybe you might be lucky enough to get SUI below $3, and if you do, I would be targeting about 280 to like 264. See if you can scoop it up in that area. See if the bulls will actually defend that 50-day moving average before it goes up to higher prices. But, you know, with Bitcoin threatening to go to all-time highs here, I think this is just a bear's dream. You know, a short seller's dream right now to bring this down to this price. I don't think SUI is going to go down if Bitcoin is going to be going up. And let's see. We'll take a look. Bitcoin is trading at $109,470. We did see it get up to $110,000 last night, or actually I should say earlier this morning around 3 o'clock while everybody was sleeping. I think the people over in Asia, the Asian banks and investors were pushing the price during the afternoon for them, but it was basically in the middle of the night for the rest of us here in the United States. All right, I see Trade Intuition. Good to see you guys in the chat here. Let me know if you have any altcoins you want me to take a look at. Unicaf is asking me about Dogecoin. I'm glad you asked me about Dogecoin because I actually got into a leverage long here on Dogecoin myself earlier this morning because I saw some things that I liked about Dogecoin. I know that Dogecoin is a meme coin. I was actually looking for a meme coin play, and I was looking for one that I know is not gonna like rug pull me. So Dogecoin is one that has been around for a while, and it could do some serious damage going to the upside here. So what do I got here? I have Dogecoin. I'll just reset this. I don't need that Fibonacci. We can do the Fibonacci later. Dogecoin. What is Dogecoin doing? Dogecoin is also below the 200-day moving average, just like Ethereum and Solana. Okay. Would be nice to see if Dogecoin could get up to that 200-day moving average and flip it from resistance to support. That 200-day moving average is sitting at 27 cents. That is actually my target on my leverage long. I'm trying to see if I can push the price of Doge up to 27 cents and make a couple $100, $300 maybe on that trade. We do have the 100-day moving average, which could have temporary resistance at 23 cents. So maybe I might take a little bit off of my long at that level. Take a little bit of profit at that level, and I can always re-enter the Dogecoin trade if I want to. I might take off like half at that level, but I'm still gonna be pushing for 27 cents here. We have the 21 EMA. This white line is gonna be coming up, kind of forcing us to go to higher prices here, especially on the daily time frame. When you have the 21 EMA slanted upward and the price, it causes usually a reaction. Like the price is going to have to make a decision. Are we going to fail and go below the 21 EMA, or are we going to like use the 21 EMA as a rocket fuel to send us up to higher prices here? And I think if it does, then yeah, we're looking to see if we can get up to that 200-day moving average for Dogecoin at 27 cents. Now, let me just go ahead and quickly do a Fibonacci analysis here. Measuring from the top here, we got as high as about 25 cents, almost 26 cents on Sunday, May 11th. And I'll just take this all the way down to here at 17 cents, where we got that impulse move. And we do have a 1618 saying that Dogecoin could reach for 31 cents. So that 200-day moving average might get overshot, and we might get resistance at 31 cents. But yeah, this is the way the chart's looking for me. Another reason why I'm also excited about Dogecoin, right, is that we are low on stochastics here. It is primed and ready to start going to higher prices and getting a higher stochastic here. So I like that fact. And then looking at smaller time frames, 1 hour time frame. Also, low stochastics on the 1 hour time frame. And then 50-minute time frame. Relatively low stochastics. That's good to see. So I think this thing's ready to move. It's just waiting for some bids to come in. And yeah, low stochastics on the 5-minute time frame as well. So like, I mean, this is like low stochastics all over the place here on Dogecoin. I like that. It means it's ready to make a move up whenever that happens. But low stochastic can stay low. All right, there's no reason why it has to go up. It can stay low until we actually start getting some bids showing up here. Dave P is saying Caspa memes are moving back. Check Conan. All right, I'll write that down. Conan as a request from Dave P. All right, and then let me just check to see how my TikTok streamers are doing here. I'm doing a stream both on TikTok and YouTube here, guys. So I'm taking requests from my followers on both streams here. All right, so TikTok's being a little bit quiet today. All right, must be everybody at their barbecues right now. Maybe some people will take a look at the replays and they'll just see all the altcoins that we've been going through here. But guys, don't forget to hit that like button, because when you hit the like button, it causes more people to join the stream, and they're going to see the altcoins that you're looking at, that you're requesting from me, and it's going to help you out with your bags here, because people are going to find out what Conan is, right? You make a request for Conan, someone might decide that they want to get into Conan as well. So don't forget to hit that like button, guys. You're helping yourself out, and you're also helping me out. Alright, let's go into the daily time frame for Conan. Conan, I believe, is a Casper meme coin. That's what Dave P has said here. And I see John in the chat. Thank you, John, for coming in. John316. That's a great YouTube handle name. And yeah, here we are looking at Conan right now. Trading at roughly 0.00001 pennies. It's kind of similar to like Pepe and Shiba Inu with the so many decimal points. So I'm just gonna say 100,197, okay? To make it easier for me to spit out the numbers here. And Conan, wow, looks like Conan had a pretty aggressive move here. Wow, Conan is high in the RSI here. We saw a high RSI of like 92 back on May 14th, and then here we have another RSI of 87. I'm starting to see some bearish divergence coming into play here. Doesn't mean that this thing can't go to higher prices, but I would expect this thing to actually start to slow down a little bit, cool down and consolidate, maybe go sideways at best. Okay. But this thing looks really strong. I'm not sure if this thing's gonna come down, but it could come down. That's the thing you got to be worried about here with the high RSI here. Stochastic RSI starting to creep up to higher levels here on stochastics, but not really considered too high. We were really high on the stochastics back on the middle of May here, but yeah, we got a nasty red candle the next day when this thing dropped 26%. But then we were able to continue climbing up. Wow, this thing looks like it's going up exponentially here. Hold on to your butts, right? If this thing continues going exponential to higher prices here. Let's see, where could Conan go? Where has Conan been? I see probably right over here. You're probably going to come up with some resistance at 282,748. So I'll mark that line off there. This could be some significant resistance in the future for Conan. And let's just do a quick Fibonacci read on this thing here. Reading from the top at let's see, this thing. How high did this thing get up to? About 122,920. Okay, it's like somewhere around here. Taking it down to where it launched off at that area. You got a 1618 saying that you should be targeting about 192,929 here on Conan. I use that as your take profit target. That's up. You'll be pretty much up about 90% on your investment. You almost got a double in price from there. But if Conan decides to drop down for whatever reason, if we get a nasty red day here, you could see the 618 come into play here, where this thing could be back at 80,115. Okay. And maybe even a deeper retracement down to 0.5 at 66,803. I would be putting in some buy limit orders if you're bullish on this crypto in this area, the golden pocket on the Fibonacci retracement. All right, let's see. Trade Intuition just put a new comment. When the stochastic RSI is overbought, but the price goes higher, and now that indicator is no longer overbought, why does that happen? Shouldn't the indicator go higher? Let me see. Let me just reread that. When the stochastic RSI or any RSI is overbought, but the price goes higher, the indicator is no longer overbought. How does that happen? You know, that's a good question. I'm trying to think of scenarios. I mean, are you referring to what's going on here with Conan? Because with Conan, looking at the daily time frame, we were overbought, right? And then we came down, and we're making a lower high on the RSI here. So that is bearish divergence, but just because we have bearish divergence doesn't mean that we can't still go up to higher prices. We can cool off, consolidate a little bit, and then continue to go to higher prices. I'm expecting this thing to cool off, consolidate a little bit, go to higher prices, and then maybe make another lower high, right? So on the RSI, so we might see something where this thing kind of cools off a little bit, comes back up, tries to make a high, but it's a lower high, and then comes back down again. And in the meantime, what's going to end up happening is the price, right? The price will continue going up, right? Let me just draw this out here for you. So the price, right, could consolidate and then come up again, creating this high, higher high on the price, and then also a lower high on the RSI. That's what I kind of foresee coming into play here with Conan, is that we can still go to higher prices, but we'll just make a lower high on the RSI. I don't know if that answers your question, Trade Intuition. I feel like you're just trying to probe my mind. I don't know if you're trying to maybe see how far my knowledge goes with stochastic RSIs and RSIs, but or if you're genuinely asking because you've seen crazy things like that in some other charts here. But yeah, I think just because it's a high RSI doesn't mean that it can't go to higher prices. That happens almost all the time, is that we continue going to higher prices and making lower highs on the RSI. Alright, let's move on to some other cryptocurrencies here. I want to take a look at maybe Cardano and then Ripple after this. Let's go ahead and take a look at Cardano. Cardano currently trading at 75 cents. Cardano is almost in the same boat as Ethereum and Solana. It's currently below its 200-day moving average, which is acting as resistance. Right now, that 200-day moving average is sitting at 82 cents. This is that red line right here. It also has a 100-day moving average could be acting as resistance as well. So it does have some upside resistance, more so than Ethereum and Solana. But with these moving averages coiling up and bunching up together here, it leads me to believe that there's going to be an explosive move. And usually the explosive move should be to the upside, mainly because you're already creating higher lows here, and you're creating higher highs on this uptrend that you've had since April. And I'm expecting an explosive move up to the upside. Doesn't mean that it couldn't go to the downside, but I'm expecting it to go to the upside here on Cardano. And if we do go up to the upside here on Cardano, where could we go? Let's do a Fibonacci retracement here, measuring from the top to the bottom. Over the past month, we see our Cardano as high as 86 cents, and then we saw it as low as 51 cents back in April. So this gives me my Fibonacci numbers here. And we got a 1618 saying that we should see $1.08 on Cardano. Hopefully in the near future here. I can see $1 Cardano coming up. And then 2618 says that we could see $1.44 Cardano. And that would be basically a double in price. And you should be selling your Cardano or selling some Cardano. Okay, you don't have to sell all of it, but you should be selling something so you can actually book in your profits here. But going back to the Fibonacci analysis here, if Cardano doesn't get that explosive move to the upside for whatever reason, and we come to the downside here, then we have the 50-day moving average at 71 cents, which is kind of confluent with the 618 at 73 cents. So I'm expecting low 70s, which is kind of like where you're at right now. with Cardano being at 75 cents. But you could see 71 cents here, 72 cents, where the 50-day moving average could act as support. I would start to be concerned about the uptrend here if Cardano comes right back to where it was in early May, where we saw Cardano at like 64 cents here. 64 cents would be a deep retracement, and it would put you at the 0.382. I would expect a reaction off that level. I would expect Cardano to actually get some bids and defend the 64 cent level. If 64 cents isn't going to be defended here, then, man, I mean, what was the whole point of this uptrend? Okay, if you can't even hold 64 cents. If you lose 64 cents, there is a 0.236 retracement at 59 cents, but I probably wouldn't want anything to do with Cardano if it does go below 64 cents. Okay, that would be the area, my last line in the sand to remain bullish on Cardano. If you can't hold 64 cents, then there's something wrong with Cardano, and you would have to be bearish in that case, because it probably means you're still in the downtrend. And this would just be considered a lower high compared to the other highs that we had. It would just be another lower high. And then it leads me to believe that we would have a lower low for Cardano if we're not able to hold 64 cents. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Dave P. I'm glad I was able to analyze that crypto for you. All right, let's see. Got some people coming in and out on my TikTok live stream. I'm glad to see some people sticking around, though. If you have any altcoin requests, go ahead and put in a request for your favorite altcoin. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. So we said Cardano, and then let's take a look at the XRP. XRP is actually one of the stronger high market cryptocurrencies out there because it actually is staying above its 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average is sitting at $2.26. That should be a strong support area for Ripple XRP. XRP is currently trading at $2.30. What could Ripple do here? Well, one of the reasons why I like Ripple so far, and it's similar to some other cryptocurrencies and altcoins out there, is that the stochastics are pretty low. Okay, I'm not sure how much lower we have to go before we start losing this little uptrend that we have on Cardano. Now, it's a little bit shallower than some of the other cryptocurrencies, but I think an explosive move is getting ready for XRP here. And if XRP does make the explosive move, right, let's just go ahead and do a Fibonacci retracement from the high here that we saw at $2.65 to the lows at $1.60 is where we saw Cardano back in April. And we have a 1618 saying that Cardano should get up to like $3.28 here. Okay, just using Fibonacci analysis here. And the one cool thing about Cardano is I like looking at the VRVP. Let me go ahead and turn the VRVP here. This is the volume range visual profile indicator. It's going to show you these green and red bars off to the right. And we got the POC for Ripple at $2.41. Once we can get past that and we can actually start catching some bids, there's a little bit of resistance at $2.60. It might go sideways for a little bit, but then once we get past $2.60, the volume drops off on the VRVP, and it says that there's going to be an explosive move to the upside for XRP, and it will take you to $3 in no time here, and you shouldn't get any resistance until you get to like $3.12. So I think XRP has $3 written on its name in the future here. That's if we're going to continue to the upside here. Now, if we go to the downside, we do have another high volume node here and a value area low sitting at $2.06. I think $2 is going to be rigorously defended by XRP investors out there. If you just listen to some of the people in the comments and other TikTok videos and Twitter and just anybody, you'll hear the XRP army will say that if XRP goes below $2, I'm buying. So, you know, with all these people saying that they're going to buy XRP below $2, I can't really see XRP going below $2. And that's where the value area low is kind of sitting at. So I don't know if we'll ever see an XRP below $2 unless we go through a bear market in crypto. Okay. Also with the with this little template that I have, right, with my VRVP template, I do have this other indicator here called the money flow indicator. And obviously back in November and December, we saw a lot of money coming into XRP, right? All that green. And then in February, March, we lost money flow, right? We had a little bit of a red here on the money flow. But you can see that we're now starting to get some green here in May. XRP is starting to catch some bids, and we're just waiting for the same kind of money that was going in November and December to start showing up to Ripple here. And then, yeah, that's probably going to push the price of Ripple up to $3 or higher. I actually have like a $5 price target. Let's see. I think we have a 2618 saying that Ripple can get up to like $4.31, and then we also have a 3618 saying that $5.33 wouldn't be too far off for XRP to get to. And you're basically doubling your money by that point with XRP. I think XRP is a safe double. It's a 2x. I think XRP, Solana, and Ethereum, all those three cryptocurrencies can easily double in price from where they are right now. They're one of the safer bets in crypto, in my opinion, at this stage in the game. So if that's all you're really looking for, you can probably get that with Ripple, Solana, and Ethereum. And I even think Bitcoin, even though it's at it is kind of getting up there now, $109,000 Bitcoin. I still think it's possible for Bitcoin to get up to $200,000, and you basically would be doubling your money with Bitcoin. So I think the high market cryptos still have a double in them, and if they can double, then that probably means these other altcoins are gonna more than double, because they gotta play catch up with Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP. All right, so we looked at those cryptocurrencies. Let's take a look at this other one called Aptos. And we're just kind of going through the list of coins here. I like Aptos because it has the same kind of technology as Sui. For those who don't know, it runs on like the movement protocol. You can look it up on the white paper for Aptos. And I think Aptos is just a sleeper, right? Don't sleep on it. Let's go ahead and get rid of the VRVP for now. And I'll get rid of this for now as well. Gotta get rid of this one as well. Okay, so I see just sideways consolidation for Aptos ever since it dropped down to like the lows here in February. I even make a lower price here where it got as low as about $3.90 here. That was the low for a lot of cryptocurrencies, was around that time, April 7th. And Aptos is just in an uptrend since then, making higher lows here on the daily time frame here. It was trying to make a higher high. Last high that it needed to beat was like $6.11 here. Let's see, we got up to $6.28. So it is technically making higher highs on the daily time frame. So it's kind of doing like a shallow recovery, just like XRP. So I think there's still room to add to Aptos here, and you might be able to catch the explosive move to the upside, just like you would see with XRP. Now, Aptos has been in a downtrend for a while here, ever since the highs that it made here in December, when it was as high as like $14, $15 here. Okay. But let's see. We're seeing higher lows, and we're also seeing higher highs. So this thing is in an uptrend. Let me go ahead and put on some of my indicators back on here. What Aptos has to contend up against here is you have a 100-day moving average, which will act as resistance, because anybody that's looking at moving averages is probably going to put their sells at that level there. You also have the 200-day moving average acting as resistance, so other investors that are looking at the 200-day moving average will probably start selling at like 775 until we can actually flip this 200-day moving average from resistance into support. I would target $7.75 as probably the first take profit target. If you didn't use this as a first take profit target, then you should definitely be targeting 775 here on Aptos. I'll quickly do the Fibonacci retracement on this, and we'll see if the Fib extensions are also saying the same thing here about these levels. So just measuring the fib extensions, we have the 1618 saying, yeah, so about like 773 or 777 where the 200-day moving average is, and the 1618 on the fib extension. That should be your long-term target, take profit target on Aptos. And if it does that, like, let's just measure that out real quick. Measuring from where we are at like $5.27 here to about 777 around that level there. You got like a 46% gainer with Aptos. Okay. But if Aptos continues to flip that support, I mean that resistance into support, it could go to higher levels here. And we got a 2618 that says that we could see a $10 Aptos, so that basically a double in price. And then the 3618 says that we could see $12.44, which is kind of like where Aptos was trading at back in like November and December of last year. So you could see a $12 Aptos. I think this one could also double in price, just like basically all the other altcoins and cryptos out there. Bitcoin, I'm not too sure if Bitcoin could double, but I think it could. I think it's possible. It's just going to be tough for it to do, in my opinion. I think Ethereum and everything else below that in market cap is capable of doubling. All right, let's see. Wagner Wolf, yeah, you did miss XRP. I still have a target of like $3 in the future here for XRP. And downside target, I think $2 is going to be defended rigorously. And if it doesn't, then yeah, it could probably go back to $1.60 like it did in April. All right, let's see. Trade Intuition has a question. If I could only pick one indicator to trade with for the next 5 years, would you pick the moving averages or fib retracement, and why? Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. I would actually pick the fib retracement, Trade Intuition, because the fib retracement allows you to figure out what the downside might be, as well as what the upside might be, using fib extension levels. Whereas like using just moving averages alone, yeah, you might know where your resistance is if it's above you, and you might know where your support is below you. But if it's below you and you're trying to figure out if this thing's going to go higher, if that asset's going to go higher, you really can't figure that out just using moving averages alone. I think the Fibonacci retracement tool is much useful because you get downside and upside targets just using the Fibonacci. And you know, if you do some research on Fibonacci, it's like the laws of nature and stuff like that. There's really some magic behind it, and yet it somehow reoccurs in the natural world and all over the place. So I think Fibonacci is just a little bit more magical than using moving averages, in my opinion. So yeah, if you're going to make me just stick to one indicator for the next 5 years, I would use Fibonacci retracement, which also gives you the extension levels as well. You are doing some very interesting thought experiments here, Trade Intuition. I like it though. I like it. Asking the tough questions here. If I could only pick one, which one would I pick? Alright, so that's enough about Aptos there. Let's take a look at the popular cryptocurrency that's actually getting some bids today. This one is related to AI agents, and this one is virtual cryptocurrency, trading at $2.12, up 4.4% today. Where could this cryptocurrency go? I did have a previous Fibonacci, analysis here. Let me go ahead and get rid of that for now. I think I might have to make a new one because we topped out here at like $2.26. All right. Let me just quickly do that from $2.26 down to the levels that we were at back in April when this thing was at like 60 cents. Ugh, ugly, right? You have a fib extension here that says you could see a $3.30 virtuals if it continues to move up to higher prices here. Yeah, let me see. That's the upside target. I already gave you the upside target. Upside target is $3.30. I'm looking to see if this thing comes down for any reason here. You'll probably have strong support at the 200-day moving average at like $1.55, which is somewhat confluent with the 0.618 here at $1.61. So I would put some bid orders in here, see if you might get filled, but you would be violating this last higher low here that it made at $1.66. So maybe you might get $1.60 or $1.55 maybe, but you'd be violating that. Yeah, you'd be violating $1.65 here. So I think traders already took advantage of the 0.618 level here, and now they're pushing the price up to higher prices here on virtuals. Downside target, I would say $1.60, $1.65 if you're lucky enough to get in at that level there. But this thing has some room to go to higher prices, mainly because it saw higher prices back in January and December here. I kind of want to turn on my VRVP to see where we could go next here and where the resistance levels might be. Going into VRVP mode. Alright, so we have a value area high at 2,060 cents. That's probably going to be your short-term resistance for virtuals, and you can see that 2,060 cents is where we were trading at back in January and December. There was some sideways trading action before we got that quick pop up, only to get dropped back down again. Looks like 260 is where virtuals is going to be targeting in the near term. But then other levels here, we have like $2.96 or roughly $3. Then a little bit above that, we have like $3.20. And then once again, that 1618 at $3.30. That's a high volume node here. So I think $3.30 should be a long-term target. But I think $2.60 is going to be your short-term target price to the upside for virtuals. And then of course, we'll see if virtuals can get back up to the highs here. We did see it trading up to like $4.60, $4.70. And then of course, it did get higher than that. For one day, it got above $5. It was trading at $5.25. That would be nice if you get to $5. You'll definitely be doubling your money at that point. Let's see. Win the day, hacking the matrix. Thoughts on Definitive Edge? Yeah, just like Joe asked, what is Definitive Edge? Is that a cryptocurrency or stock? Oh wow, I think it might actually be a crypto. Is this something that's trading on Coinbase already? Interesting. Let's take a look. Definitive Edge currently trading at 12 cents. Edge USD. I just want to see like other charts for this thing. This thing is also trading on Kraken as well, and Mexi. All right. Definitive Edge. I'm taking that request. Appreciate the request. This thing is trading at 12 cents right now. Looks like Definitive Edge does not have a Definitive Edge, in my opinion. This thing's been trading sideways ever since it traded on Mexi Exchange in August of 2022. This thing has been around for a while. I haven't really heard... I haven't had anybody request this crypto, and I haven't really heard anybody talking about this crypto. Mainly because it hasn't really done much. I mean, it gets like these crazy sell-side wicks here. It does not like going above 12 cents for the most part here. Because every time it gets above 12 cents, it gets sold off. Is what I'm seeing here. Newly listed on Coinbase about 2 months ago. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe now that it's listed on Coinbase, you can start getting some bids here. But Definitive Edge, just looking at the VRVP, most people bought this thing at like 6 cents. So when you have the VRVP, this is going to be a little bit of a learning experience for you guys here. When you have the VRVP showing most of your volume is below you, and most of the POC is below you, the value area high and the value area low, those white lines here, when those lines are below you, okay, this whole value area, which is the line between the top white line and the bottom white line, when you have all this volume below you, it usually means that the asset that you're looking at is overvalued, and most likely it's going to want to come back down to at least the value area high. And this thing is sitting at about 8 cents, okay? So this thing could come back to 8 cents. Keep in mind that this thing might be overvalued right now, okay? You want to start creating more volume at higher prices than where the value area high is at and the value area low. You want to create a high volume node here, and it looks like you're kind of doing that here at 12 cents. So maybe 12 cents actually sticks, and you can create a nice support and resistance area at 12 cents. But it just seems like every time this thing gets to 12 cents, it gets knocked right back down to 6 cents. Or 8 cents. I'd be very wary of that, okay? Looks like people have just been making quick money. Every time this thing gets up to like 12 cents, they sell it down, they bring it back down to 6 or 8 cents. You buy back in again, and then you sell at 12 cents. That seems to be the play here on Definitive Edge. Let's look at let me go into full chart mode here. So I still got the VRVP here. Now I got some moving averages to look at. I got everything. I got my full battle station here. Well, all the indicators showing right now. And you got all the moving averages right now. Let me get rid of the VRVP. You got all the moving averages below you. So this thing is overheated, overbought in my opinion. Just looking at that. RSI is not overbought. It's below 70. 70 would be overbought. But stochastic RSI is still relatively high. And you did get on Market Cipher B with all these green and red dots here. You did get a red dot that came in on Monday, today actually. You have a red dot. So this thing is saying you should be selling Edge right now. Probably because it's going to go right back down to 8 cents again. All right, let's see. Definitive is an on-chain trading platform democratizing advanced trading for the masses. And when the day is saying wrong token. All right, can you give me the trading pair for Definitive Edge? Because I thought I was looking at the right one, but basically I just kind of almost wasted everybody's time here looking at the wrong one, I guess. Is it like Edge USD? And you said it's on Coinbase? I mean, that's what I have here, Definitive Edge at 12 cents on Coinbase. And you said it came on about 2 months ago. This is here, looks like it's trading in April at on Coinbase is when it first got listed here. Anyways, I think that's enough for that token. We'll take a look at some other cryptocurrencies here. I'm gonna look at another cryptocurrency that I think is doing pretty well, and that's AI16Z. We'll kind of go into like the AI cryptos now. I think AI cryptos are gonna start catching bids again. They've already been catching bids, but I think you're gonna start hearing more about them on Twitter, on crypto Twitter, and some of these social media websites here. AI16Z has gotten the beat down ever since it popped off here in January. You saw this thing as high as like $2.51. When it first started trading on Mexi Exchange, it was trading at like 76 cents. Okay, and this thing came on to Mexi in December of 2024. So there's room to go to higher prices for this crypto because it's been at higher prices before. Let me go ahead and turn the VRVP here. So the VRVP is showing that the POC is below you. Value area low is also below you. A lot of people came in and scooped this thing up at like 10 cents. Okay. Doesn't mean that we can't create some more high volume nodes. at higher prices here. But this thing might come down to the POC if we start losing bids here and losing interest in this crypto. Right now, you have another high volume node currently where you're at like 30 cents. Okay. And then going forward here, the value of your high is sitting at 41 cents. That would probably be your first take profit target on AI16Z. And then if this thing continues moving forward, the volume drops off significantly. I do see kind of some high volume here at 80 cents. I think 80 cents would be the expected long-term target for AI16Z if it continues being bullish. And you're basically almost tripling your money with this coin. I think this thing has a 3x in store for it in the future. I do have the moving averages. Some of the moving averages are starting to show up here. Let me go ahead and get rid of the VRVP now. And we have a 50-day moving average, which should act as support if this thing does come down lower. 50-day moving average should act as support at 24 cents. And I'll do a quick Fibonacci retracement to figure out if it does come down lower, what are the expected levels here. So like I said, 24 cents should act as support, and that's confluent with the 0.382. But the 0.236 is another deeper retracement. If this thing does come down lower than that, it might get some support at 19 cents. And I don't really have anything else to be confluent with that. I think 23 cents is going to be most likely the defense, where it gets defended and gets some support. Because you got the 50-day moving average at like 23, 24 cents. And then you also have the Fibonacci 0.382 retracement saying that there should be a reaction if it does go lower. All right. So that's the downside targets on AI16, and upside target, you know, like I said, I think this thing could get up to 80 cents, but you have the 1618 saying that this thing could get up to 58 cents. And then the 2618, like I said, that's my long-term target on AI16Z. I think this thing could get up to like 87 cents here. Alrighty. Let's take a look at another AI cryptocurrency here, and that would be Render. Render currently trading at $4.67, down 2.29% today. So are we starting to like sell off here in crypto? Because I could have sworn like these cryptos were ready to go up to higher prices, especially with Bitcoin being at $110,000. Let me just quickly look at Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin, oh, it is bleeding off here at 109,150. Bitcoin, what are you doing? All right. Anyways, going back to Render here. Render trading at $4.69. What a nice number to be at. This thing is gonna get resistance at $5.57 because that's where the 200-day moving average is sitting at. But I like this thing. It's making higher lows here and higher highs than what it was back here in February. So this thing is on the uptrend. It's looking very healthy. It looks like it bottomed out here in April, beginning of April. If it does come down any further than where it is right now, I think $4.28 should be a good support area because you got the support sideways trading in this area. And you also have the 50-day moving average at roughly $4. So you might be lucky enough to get this thing at $4 again. And you should be happy if you could. And yeah, let's go ahead and do the Fibonacci retracement here to reconfirm these levels that we're looking at. And yeah, I did say $4 was where the 50-day moving average is sitting at. But the 0.5 retracement says that there should be a reaction at $4.17. And you have the 618 at $4.50. So I think between $4.17 and $4.50, that's the golden pocket right there. You should be putting in your bid orders there, and hopefully you get filled to get some cheaper Render here. If Render does continue being bullish and going to higher prices, you got the 1618 saying that you could see $7.24 Render, and it wouldn't be weird. It would actually be normal for it to get up to that price. And as I start to zoom out further and gather some more data, I'll turn on the VRVP now, and let's see if the VRVP has to agree with anything here. And yeah, that 1618 is almost confluent with the value area high. Value area high is sitting at like $7, so I think a $7 render could be possible in the future here. And then if render continues being more bullish, we got another high volume node here at like $8.90. Is probably where some people are going to start selling their render at. I think $8, $9 render should be, you're basically doubling your money at that point on render. And you should be selling some render at $9 if you can. All right, let's move on to some other cryptocurrencies here. Did I cover most of the ones that I want to look at? We did render, Aptos, Cardano, virtual. Oh, since I'm on the AI cryptos, let me go ahead and talk about Tau. I didn't even get a chance to talk about Tau. Clean this up a little bit here. Okay. All right, so now we're looking at Tau Bit Sensor on Coinbase exchange. Actually, do I really want to look at it on Coinbase? I'm gonna look at it on another exchange that's had it for a while here. We'll look at it on Binance. Yeah, Binance has got more data. Binance exchange shows that Tau currently trading at $432. Right. Let me go ahead and get rid of this that Fibonacci analysis right there. Let me go ahead and turn the moving averages on though. Tau is above the 200-day moving average, so that's good to see. Stronger than some of these other altcoins out there. And Tau has been in an uptrend, creating higher lows and higher highs. Okay. It would be good to see that it get above the high here in February at $494. Did we get above that? Not yet, but close. So maybe on the next upswing, we see Tau actually create a higher high, and then we know for sure that this thing is in a bull run here. But it looks like, yeah, it looks like you bottom out here in April, like a lot of these other altcoins did. RSI is sitting at 56, so that's good to see. That this thing could go to higher prices and it wouldn't be overbought. At least not right now. Stochastic RSI is also pretty low here. And my little cheat sheet, the market cipher B indicator, showing that we have a red dot here on May 24th. And the good thing about red dot is usually the next dot after that is going to be a green dot. So when we get that green dot, we'll know for sure that we should be buying Tau here. But yeah, if you're lucky enough, you could get Tau at that 200-day moving average at $407. You might even get even more lucky enough to get it at the 100-day moving average, sitting at $360, where you got some sideways trading action going on there back in late April, early May. I think if you lose this last low here at $340, you have to wonder if something's wrong with Tau, because that is going to violate the uptrend here and also cause you to create a lower low than what you did here back in early May. So I would probably put my stop loss at 340 or maybe 330. And if it goes lower than that, you probably want nothing to do with Tau because something's wrong and you don't want to stick around for that. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do a Fibonacci. Actually, no, let's not do Fibonacci. We'll do VRVP. It's one of my favorite indicators. VRVP kind of makes things a little bit messy here, but you can see the high volume node here at $450, slightly above us. But then after that, you lose that volume, and you get another high volume node at like $500. So this thing could go up to $500, and it wouldn't be too crazy if it did. But now you also have the value area high sitting at like 588, and I think that's probably where your first take profit target should be on Tau. And if Tau continues going up to higher prices after that, you got some more high volume at 705. So I'd be targeting $700 as my long-term take profit target on Tau Bit Sensor. All right, let's move on to some other cryptocurrencies here. I think we haven't looked at AVAX. Let's take a look at AVAX, and then we'll finish off by looking at Bitcoin, and then I think that's going to be it for the stream here. Appreciate you guys coming on to live stream. I know you guys could be anywhere, probably at your cookout, maybe you're watching me on your way to your cookout, listening to me on your drive to wherever you got to go. But I appreciate you guys watching and listening to me on the Meet Damien channel here. Don't forget to hit the like button, especially if you're on your way out. Don't forget to hit the like button. All right, so here we are looking at AVAX, currently trading at $23.12. Okay. And yeah, $23.14. Where could AVAX go? AVAX got a POC, that blue line, point of control is what the POC is, and that's sitting at 26 bucks. It acts like usually like a big magnet, so I think this thing wants to go up to higher prices, and it would want to go to $26 before it kind of chills out for a little bit there. We want to flip that POC from resistance to support, and then the next probably resistance area is going to be this 200-day moving average, that red line at $29.55, a little bit below 30 bucks. But the crazy thing is that the VRVP says that 30 bucks, there's really not that much volume there. Okay, we could actually get more resistance. We might actually settle at 35 bucks, which is where the value area high is at. So this thing might pierce through the 200-day moving average and then actually chill out and consolidate at like $35 instead. Okay, which wouldn't be weird. But if this thing continues to go to higher prices, then yeah, we could see a $50, $52 avalanche, where you got some high volume there, and you got some people who bought back in December at like 50 bucks, and they're probably be like, oh my god, this thing's back at $50. I can actually sell and break even again. So you're probably gonna get some people that want to sell at 50 bucks if avalanche gets to that price. And I thought I got rid of these, but obviously avalanche did a double bottom here, as you can see with these white curved lines that I made here. And we saw the bullish divergence, so I like avalanche. Avalanche is like kind of like textbook bottoming out here with the double bottom. Let me get rid of the VRVP here. You got a double bottom. You get the first bottom here and the second bottom, and now you're just creating higher lows here and higher highs. I mean, this is textbook. We're bottoming out. This could be like the beginning of like a cup and handle pattern for avalanche, as it just continues going up to higher lows and higher highs and breaking past the resistance levels here. I don't see why avalanche would be coming down unless it violates the uptrend that it's already in. And the uptrend for avalanche looks kind of like this here. So if avalanche loses, basically if avalanche loses the 50-day moving average at $21, if we lose $21 on avalanche, then there's something wrong with avalanche, and you should probably get out of it. I probably put my stop loss right here at like 19 or 20 bucks. And if avalanche goes down to $19, then you probably want nothing to do with it, to be honest with you, because there's something wrong with it at that point. might even be a bear market. And then if that's the case, then this high that we made here at like $26.84, that's just going to be considered a lower high. And it means that we're still in the downtrend. So that would not be good. But we'll see. I think we might have another good month. I think, guys, honestly, you know, we have the trade deal deadlines coming up in the beginning of July. I think the month of June might actually be bullish for crypto as well, because we'll probably get those trade deals coming in the month of June before the deadline shows up. There might be like one or two countries that's not going to negotiate with America because they probably feel like, you know, they're negotiating with unreasonable people here in the Trump administration. But I think those trade deals, when they do come in, it's going to help the stock market, and it's going to help crypto. And I think by 4th of July, that might actually be like where we get a local top on crypto and the stock market. I think you should be selling around 4th of July if things play out the way they're going to play out here. Let's see. So I'm looking at Bitcoin right now. Currently trading at $109,238. We did get up to $110,474 earlier this morning at 3 a.m. while everybody was mostly sleeping. But what can Bitcoin do? So it's nice to see that we're kind of up a little bit today, 200 bucks. But I kind of want to see Bitcoin do better than this. I want to see Bitcoin get up to like 112 grand and threatening to make new all-time highs again. That's what I want. Doesn't mean that that's what Bitcoin's going to do here. Bitcoin, you know, RSI is sitting at 66.49. So it has the juice to do it, and it wouldn't be overbought. We were overbought here last Thursday when we did hit $112,000. And we had a red dot here, a sell signal on Saturday. But the good thing about getting a red dot is that the next dot is going to be a green dot. So we don't know when that's going to happen. But we can kind of tell by looking at money flow. Actually, let me go ahead and put on money flow here. I'm going to switch my indicators here. We're going to see the VRVP and the money flow. And yeah. Money flow is saying that money has been pouring into Bitcoin since the end of April here, where we went green after being red for a while there. And money is still flowing into Bitcoin as we speak. So it's steady as she goes, in my opinion. Let me go ahead and turn the VRVP. VRVP is showing that, you know, if Bitcoin does come down, we have some support here at $103,000 Bitcoin up to like $105,000 Bitcoin. That's why I draw this purple box here. This is your buy zone. You should be buying Bitcoin if it does get down to this level. You might be lucky enough to actually buy it at a lower buy zone here. This is around like $97,000 Bitcoin. You got a value area high in the VRVP saying that that's a good area to be buying. And you also got sideways trading action in that zone. So I would consider myself lucky if I could buy Bitcoin at $97,000. I'm not sure if we're ever going to go below $100,000 Bitcoin in the next few months here, guys. Bitcoin looks like it's ready to go to higher prices here. And if Bitcoin does go to higher prices here, let me go ahead and draw out that we'll figure out what the Fibonacci extension levels might be here. From like $112,000 Bitcoin down to the lows here at 74,400, we have a 1618 that says Bitcoin should see 135 grand. And then you got a 2618 saying that Bitcoin might be $172,000 later on this year. Wow, wowee. Okay. But even if I zoom in a little bit here, I'll do another Fibonacci just measuring from like the $94,000 area. Okay. So let me go ahead and get rid of that. And with that, right, measuring down to here at $94,000, you got the 1618 saying that Bitcoin should at least, I mean, we could see $123,000 Bitcoin later on this week or maybe next month. And what is that going to do to the altcoins if that happens? Hopefully, you know, retail investors will realize, because I know retail investors pour in their altcoin space. When they see Bitcoin at $120,000, new all-time highs, and getting further and further away from being below 100 grand, I think that's when the altcoin season will start up. Also, when we get rid of these tariffs, and these tariffs are no longer in play, I think that's going to be the beginning of altcoin season. So maybe altcoin season is this summer. Right? Maybe the summer is the altcoin season that we've all been waiting for. Alright. I think we should have had altcoin season around when Donald Trump got inaugurated, but he started talking about tariffs, and I think that totally destroyed the stock market and cryptocurrency market, destroyed the altcoins. Once we get rid of tariffs, we can finally start getting our altcoin season that we should have had in January, February. That's in my opinion. But wow, Bitcoin is coming down here. $109,000 and $109,090 here. Let's go into the smaller time frames here, and I'll go back to my normal indicators here. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of the VRVP here. I don't really like using the VRVP on smaller time frames unless I'm trying to really identify certain levels. When I'm on smaller time frames, like the 15-minute time frame, I usually stick to moving averages to figure out where price wants to go next. Okay. And on the 50-minute time frame, we are above the 200 moving average and the 100 moving average, which is currently sitting at like $108,500 Bitcoin. If Bitcoin continues the downtrend, we should get a reaction off of that level. Maybe we get a bounce to higher prices. If we lose that 200 moving average on the 50-minute time frame, then I start to worry that maybe we're going to see Bitcoin come down to like $107,000 all over again, like we did yesterday. All right, so that 50-minute time frame. I mean, yeah, I think Bitcoin's probably seeing the lowest for today. We got as low as $108,900. Okay. And look at the 5-minute time frame. Let's see what the 5-minute time frame is doing. We did lose the 200 moving average on the 5-minute time frame, so that's a little bit worrying and concerning. Hopefully this is just a dip below it and we shoot right back up. If we don't shoot right back up, then I would start to get concerned because we're below the 200 moving average on the 5-minute time frame. That's pretty important to me as a day trader. Unless we know that we need to start becoming bearish, right? And I'll become more bearish if we lose the 200 on the 50-minute time frame. Right now, that's at 108,500. So, Bitcoin, what are you doing, man? We need to get back up. Get back up to like 109, 110. All right. So if the 5-minute was looking bad, then 1 minute is probably also bad as well. Yeah, we're below the moving averages on the 1-minute time frame here. What do we did we start dumping when I started the stream? Jesus, I'm sorry guys. Looks like my stream was like a dump stream here. We've been going down ever since I started streaming. What I started streaming at 1 o'clock. So we kind of already did have that dump right before the stream, but it's more like been sideways consolidation during my stream here. Is there anything that could save us here? We are making higher lows on the 1-minute time frame for the RSI. So maybe we're getting some bullish divergence here. And we could probably start getting some bids here on Bitcoin. See, well, let's take a look at the MACD. I like looking at the MACD too. Looks like whatever sell side action we had here in the beginning of the afternoon is not as violent on the MACD. So there are buyers starting to show up here at these lower prices. So that's good to see. That's once again bullish divergence using the MACD here. And right now we have a green dot saying you should be buying on the 1-minute time frame. Let's take a look at the 5-minute time frame. You have another green dot here. Okay, that's good. 15-minute time frame. We had a red dot, but the next dot should be a green dot. So I think we might be at the lows for the day. And then on the 50-minute time frame, okay, using the MACD, for those that use the MACD, when you start seeing light red candles, that lets me know like buying pressure is starting to show up. The selling pressure is starting to die down. This could be the lows. When you see the MACD go from red to pink, these could be the lows that you're looking for. And you might get rewarded by going to higher prices from here. Oh, look at that. It changed on us. It went from, we were getting a pink candle, but now it's back to red again. Okay, but if you start seeing more pink candles, that usually means that the downdraft, the selling pressure is coming to an end. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't just get more. Like, look at what happened here, right? On the 15-minute time frame. Like, just going back here to, like, earlier this morning, we had, you know, the downdraft here. And then we had some pink candles showing up. And that, you know, was showing that the price was going up as well. But then we had more red candles show up on the MACD here. And then the pink candle started showing up. But then we didn't get any green candles. So we want to see pink candles start to show up, right? But then we also want to see green candles, like we kind of did right here at 11:45 a.m. East Coast time here. We did have some green candles, and that's when we saw Bitcoin get up to $110,400 today. But then immediately we got sold down, and we got the red candles again on the MACD here. But we're starting to get some pink candles here. At least on the 50-minute time frame. Let's go back to the 5-minute time frame. 5-minute time frame, you can see that those pink candles were showing up. Right? We got the dark red candles and then the pink candles starting to show up. Selling pressure dying down. And now you got a green candle on the 5-minute time frame. So maybe this might be the low for today. I gotta go check on my my trades on Mexi here. See if I don't know if I might have got stomped out on my Dogecoin. Let's see my positions. Oh, am I still in Dogecoin? My stop loss on Dogecoin was about roughly 21.5 cents, and it looks like it did not get triggered. Let's see how far we came down on Dogecoin here. We came down to 22 cents. So yeah, my stop loss, I put my stop loss like right over here. I mean, I don't think it should get triggered unless we really come down hard. But I think at 21 cents is a good stop loss on my Dogecoin day trade here. And I'm just trying to take this thing up to 27 cents. We're currently trading at 22 cents for Dogecoin. Alright, Dogecoin. And I have another trade that should be in profit here, but we'll see. I might have lost some of my profits. And that is Aerodrome Finance. My stop loss is at 56 cents. Currently, Aerodrome is trading at 58 cents. It's actually a little bit below where I bought it at. I bought it last night at 59 cents. What are we looking at? The 5-minute time frame. Let's go into the 1-hour time frame here. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. I had more profits until this thing decided to come down here. So yeah, I bought like right over here at like 59 cents on Aerodrome Finance, and we're kind of like almost like where I bought trading. Yeah. Let's see. Open position. My Dogecoin, I'm up $1, and my Aerodrome, I'm down $6. I was up like $50 earlier on my Aerodrome, so that's unfortunate. But I'm waiting for Aerodrome to go up to my take profit. My take profit is at 80 cents if I can. I would probably take profit if that thing gets up to like 70 cents, and I'll be sitting. I'll probably make a couple $100 on that trade, $300 maybe. Master E's asking, are we moving down or what? I think we're catching some bids right now on Bitcoin, which should help lift the rest of the market up here. Like I was saying with the MACD on the 5-minute time frame, like we're getting pink candles on the MACD, and we got a green dot here that showed up. So we are getting some buyers starting to show up right now for Bitcoin, and I think we're going to be going up, Master E, at least for like the next hour. I think we're catching some bids right now on crypto and Bitcoin. And there we go. There's another green candle on the MACD. I'm expecting us to get back up to the 200 moving average at $109,700 on the 5-minute time frame here. Guys, that's it for me on this live stream. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day. Hopefully you guys are going to get some good food and do some fun things for Memorial Day. And don't forget to thank a veteran. I know it's not Veterans Day, but thank your servicemen out there for keeping us safe out there. And yeah, be on the lookout for my next live stream. I might go live at the same time tomorrow, or maybe later on. But usually you can catch me anywhere between like 12 to 6 p.m. East Coast time, Eastern Standard Time. And you'll see me on these live streams. Okay. And then also be on the lookout for some of my videos and TikToks and YouTube Shorts. I might make some more either today or tomorrow when I get some more time. All right. Okay, guys. Appreciate you coming on to the live stream. Don't forget the like button on the way out. And don't forget to share this with any of your friends or family members that are in crypto, or even people who are in stock market. We can look at stocks as well. We just talking about crypto because right now stock market isn't trading. So we have to just talk about crypto for now. But I did make this a dedicated altcoin live stream here. I want to make sure that we got the altcoins up here because I think there's a lot of potential for some money to be made in altcoins, especially going into next month with trade deals coming up. I think we're going to see some good stuff and some fireworks before 4th of July. And then, of course, we'll probably see some fireworks on 4th of July as well. All right. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next live stream.